What's up YouTube, it's NG, the NeonX, and I'm back. And today I'm into an unboxing. Logitech came out with another keyboard. They came out with a Magic Keyboard competitor. And this device is half the price of the Magic Keyboard, with not only the keyboard and the trackpad, but also the full function keys and the ability to adjust the lean height of your iPad. So once it was released, you know I had to try this device out. So let's take a quick look at this thing, do an unboxing, and then we'll get into some first impressions. Let's take a quick look in the packaging. I'm not exactly sure what we're going to get, so let's see. First of all, the box, it lets you know that yes, you have your keyboard, you have your trackpad, you're able to adjust it for drawing angles, easily fold it over to hold it to read, or again readjust the keyboard to be a type of display. Multi-functional keyboard case like one would expect for your iPad Pro. So far, just looking at these, I'm already feeling this more than the Magic Keyboard. Okay, let's see what we have inside. Okay, just a regular box. Now this is a bit concerning to me. It just slides out of the case. Now, does this mean that this was bought before it was used? You would think there'd be some kind of plastic covering around it. I did get this from the Apple Store. My mall did recently open, so that was an option, thank God, because the shipping times on these things was absurd. So that's it for the case. There's nothing else in here. Here's the case. Quick look at the box. We have some instructions. It's pretty much exactly how you need to put the iPad into the case. It lets you know that there is a pen attachment to keep your pen safe. Alright, that seems to be it. Again, no plastic covering was on this, so I'm not even sure this is a brand new item. Maybe it was bought and returned, I don't know. Well, let's take a quick look at the case. Let's see, I must say it looks nice. It looks the part. It feels great. This is, I don't know if it's called Alcantara. It's a very, it's not, I don't know, it's not plastic. It's a nice little texture to it. I can't argue it. It feels very quality made. I like that already. Let's do a quick comparison to my previous case. As you can see, this is that dark gray of plastic material. Very utilitarian. At the back, you have the camera notch. Here, the camera notch is made to fit the iPad Pro, the newer one. This one is made to fit the previous generation, though it does fit the newer one too. You just don't have access to your full camera array with this guy. With here, they changed the way the flap connects to the back. Oh, that's right, because here you have the kickstand, right. That's nice. This has no kickstand. The angle in which you put it in is pretty much the angle in which it stays. With the newer one, you do have this little kickstand here, so you are able to adjust the angle of your iPad for better viewing or drawing or whatever the case might be. As far as thickness goes, I would say that the newer model is thicker. I don't know if you can see that there. The new model is or it appears to be a thicker case around the bottom. This one has the Bluetooth or the USB-C connector because it did not connect to the proprietary points on the back of the iPad. This did need its own power. It did last a long time, I think, but you know, you still did have to charge it up. This one draws power from the iPad, so no need for a USB-C. It covers everything but where you would charge the iPad itself and the bottom wiring speaker grills. The top of both cases, quick look, it is the same. It's the same minus and plus for the volume. This has a circle for the power. This has a minus shape, and that seems to be it. Oh, on this side here you have more of an opening as opposed to this one that has no opening at all, which is kind of weird. The gray one, or the newer model, seems like it would be thicker, but the sides tell a different story. Let's see. What else do they have here? The old one, this is where you could dock your Apple Pencil, so when it wasn't connected to the iPad, it could go in here and not fall out of your case while you walk around. This one, I don't know if it has that, and yes, it does. The flap seems smaller. Yes, the flap is a much smaller flap. You can see the size difference. This one is significantly longer than this guy here, much smaller, but they seem to connect just the same. Let's take a quick look at the keyboards. Forget this one, it is charged. That's the keyboard here. And for the new one, I haven't even seen what this keyboard looks like yet. Ooh, very nice. And here, a piece of plastic. Again, it makes me wonder if this was a returned unit, because I didn't take this off of anything. As long as it works, I guess I won't really complain. That's all that matters, but still, I did pay full price for this. This should not be there. Okay. Now, as you can see, both keyboards are, well, based on it, no, yeah, they did change the button layout. With this guy here, you have your function keys up top, but the keys themselves are in different spots. Let's see, or are they? Let's see, volume, lock. Oh, this one has a Bluetooth key here and a power key here. The lock is here. With this one, the lock key is at the very end. These two keys here, this case doesn't need, because it's not connected by Bluetooth and it doesn't have its own power. So they're able to make more space for the keys on this one, at least with the top row, because they were able to get rid of the two keys over here. Now, as far as the keys themselves, these have more travel to them. These, when you press them, you feel the difference when it goes down. I don't know how to yeah. With these guys, when you press them, it takes a little bit longer to hit the bottom of the key. These ones are very light to the touch. As soon as you touch the keys, you feel that impact. Will that change how I type? I don't know. I think I'm used to these here, so this might take a little getting used to. But these are closer to what the Magic Keyboard felt like, if memory serves, as opposed to this. This was a great keyboard. I did a lot of work on it, but I did prefer the feel of the Magic Keyboard, and this is closer to that experience. So we have our tab, caps lock, shift, planet, world, control option. Yep. Let's see, option command. The arrow keys are in a different position. They changed the left and right arrow keys. They made them bigger, as opposed to here where it's a thin line with a blank space up here. I mean, you weren't really going to miss the button either way, but here they just made it the entire space, so there's no little space up top. This keyboard is bigger. It looks that way, but again, like I said, this keyboard has more buttons, but yet it still looks like the space bar is larger than this. And they did have to add a mouse pad here, but as you can see, there is a considerable size difference in the keyboards themselves, at least from where the iPad would go. Here, because of the mouse pad, you have a good, what's that, 2-3 inches of space here. I would assume that, because you need to fit this guy right here. This is what it's all about. As much as I loved this keyboard case, I actually chose this one over the Magic keyboard. I did miss the trackpad option. Now, I did go out and get a Magic trackpad, but it just wasn't the same. Having to carry around both devices, if I thought I might want to type up something on the iPad, was a bit much. So I did return that, and I've been just happily using this case. It does protect the iPad one much better than the Magic keyboard ever did. But there were those times where I found myself going to reach for a mouse or whatever, but they're normally on my desk, only to realize, oh yeah, I don't have a mouse connected to this, or oh yeah, I don't have a mouse pad connected to it. So having that availability on this one is something I have been looking forward to, without having to pay that Apple tax premium for a device which, in my opinion, is not what it should have been. So let's take a quick look at how this thing stands up on its own. As you can see, both cases can achieve the same angle, but because this one has the kickstand back here, you can drop this guy a lot further back. And just like with this one, the magnet does attach to the back when not in use. Like this one I can't even show you because, you know, it's magnetized to the keyboard as well. But with both of them, the magnet flap can stick to the back when not in use. But again, with the Folio Touch, you have this great angle, much like the Surface computers, like my wife's Surface or my original. Being able to change that angle comes in very handy. You won't realize how useful that angle change can be until you don't have it. This here is where the iPad connects. As you see, this doesn't have one because this is again connected by Bluetooth. But that seems to be it. The difference is definitely there. They did a lot of extra work on this one. The feel of the keyboard is very reminiscent of the Surface keyboards, with this texture along the entire keyboard flap and the back of the case, as opposed to the original one, or the first generation Logitech keyboard case, which had this hard plastic. Nothing against this plastic. My iPad has dropped in this case and it was more than protected, so I was very happy when that happened. And it wasn't in a Magic keyboard case, because that would have been bad. Well, with that said, let's take a look at how this guy looks in the new case. Here people, is my iPad Pro, the 11-inch, second generation. Didn't think I would like an Apple product as much as I like this, but this, people, is well worth the money if you're looking for a decent work tablet that checks pretty much all the marks. Not the cheapest of devices to be true, but for what you get for that, the 120Hz display, the quad speakers, access to the App Store with all of its various professional level apps, from artwork to accounting to whatever it might be. This is the tablet I have to recommend, at least for now. Well, let's see how this thing looks in here. Let's see. So far, it just kind of pops right in there, huh? Oh yeah, it really does. Oh, it's working just like that. Okay, it is backlit. Let's take a quick look at that. And voila, that is very pretty. Look at those keys light up. Power button clicks a lot. That works. Power button clicks a lot easier on this case than it did with my other case. Maybe again that's because that case wasn't particularly made for this iPad. It was made for the generation before. So the double click to give access to apps was a lot easier on this. Keyboard commands work just fine. Guess the big thing to try would be the mouse. And yes, I would have to say the mouse over the items is working just fine. As it goes over, it conforms to the app that it's on. If I go down, I get the clock. I can swipe through my pages just fine. Swipe up with 3 fingers. I do get back the I forgot what even call this, the app tab. Actually, I'm still not certain of these. Ooh, no. I don't even know how to go home with that. Swipe up, you do that. Swipe down, you get search. Commands seem to work just fine. It does conform. There's a quick search for photos. Yep, a quick type or a quick tap. Everything does go through fine. The trackpad feels just as good in my mind anyway as the Magic Keyboard trackpad. So I can't really say why. There it is. Just remembered how to get back home. I can't really say why Apple felt the need to price there at such a high price. Yeah, now that Logitech has come out with this, it kind of renders the Magic Keyboard pointless. Well, not pointless. Let's see. That's great. Let's try Procreate. Now with the keyboard like this, you have a much easier angle with which you can draw whatever you are trying to draw, because now you have full control of the angle of your iPad, and this will come in so great. You can do whatever you are trying to do with your pencil. It really is a good time here. Yeah, I like the way this works. I do. Really do. Yeah. This is nice. Now when you're done doing your creative work and you need to go online, or you send an email, boom, you have full access. Your mouse works, everything works. You can just go on there, type up whatever it might be. Send something, call it a day. This is my wife. Let's just surprise her with something to see how this works. I have no complaints about this keyboard or this mouse. This feels great. But if you're looking for an all-in-one solution for your iPad or your iPad Pro, a case that not only gives you the mouse over functionality, but also a easy to use keyboard with full function keys, full protection for your iPad, something the Magic Keyboard did not have, and the ability to change the angle of said iPad to either type or draw, whatever the case might be. This here is the item for you. Alright, let's take a quick look at how this kind of looks closed up. This is the Folio Touch with the iPad Pro inside. I gotta say, I like the way this looks. You do have full access to the camera at the back. It is completely protected from drops and nicks at the side, unlike the Magic Keyboard, which a lot of the iPad was still exposed. You have your Apple Pencil in a little carrying slot so that it won't bounce around and fall off while you're in transit. Both sides are completely covered. All that is exposed is the charging ports and the speaker grills. This is a very well made case. That's just the facts behind it. Much better so than the Magic Keyboard. As far as protection goes, it's a little thick, but that is par for the course when you want a device to protect your $1,000 investment. But overall, I think this is a pretty great purchase if you're in the market for such an item. Right now, the only two that you have a choice between are this and the Magic Keyboard. And if I had to choose one, I would definitely go with this, but the value proposition is just better in this particular area. With that said, I'm NG, the Neon X, and the Logitech Folio Touch. This is what I'm into.